I always put myself in the shoes, of our clients when talking to them, trying to understand what their thresholds are, what their goals are, what their needs are, and, try and position them in a way that, is going to help them get there through financing. Now, I'm thinking in terms of today, right? Like I haven't invested in the last, year on a new STR. The market right now is kind of in a position where you want to wait and see what happens. A lot of money sidelined, but there are people that are starting to come out, and you're going to start seeing that shift of people picking up investors, picking up properties. Now, if I were in that position today, how would I negotiate my transaction with a seller, right? Where you got to remember, 9 months ago, if you wanted to buy a property, you were waiving appraisal contingencies, you were waiving loan approval contingencies, and you were agreeing to close in less than 30 days for, $80,000 over the listed price.
Sure.
That is not the case today, right? Inventory is stacking up. It is sitting longer. There's price reductions for homes on the market that didn't exist, right? So prices are coming down. We're not necessarily seeing a depreciation, more of a slowing of appreciation, but prices are coming down. So if I'm going to go out there and buy a property today, and I'm going to negotiate with a seller, there's more leverage in my court to make a creative offer. Now, for our investor clients, one of the things that is always top of mind is, how much is this going to cost me to close? I've got my 20% down for this loan. I've got my escrow fees, my title fees, my appraisal, my lender fees, and I might need a little bit of money at the end to improve the property to get it ready for short-term rent. One of my favorite strategies, and I learned this back in the day by working with home builders, just like you did, is asking for seller credits, right? So with a bank statement loan or a DSCR loan, we can use up to 3% of the sales price in the form of a seller credit to help pay for closing cost, or however you want to use that money to strategize. So example, let's say we're doing an $800,000 purchase, and you go into that property, you and the seller, he wants $815,000, you want to buy it for $775,000. Let's say you meet in the middle at $800,000. But you're going to say, I'll pay $800,000 for this, but I want 3% in seller credit. All right. Well, what's 3% of $800,000? That's going to be $24,000. Okay. Now, let's say all your title, escrow, lender fees, everything, impound accounts for your taxes and escrow came out to $14,000. That means you got another $14,000 left over on the table to use. Now, if I'm a consumer today and I'm using a DSCR loan product and it comes with a 5-year prepayment penalty, I'm going to use that $14,000 that's left on the table to buy down or buy out my prepayment penalty, right? Because there is a growing sentiment amongst professionals in our industry that there is going to be a refinance event as early as maybe the third or even fourth quarter of 2023. And what I mean by refinance event, that rates are going to come down. Sure. Okay, so if I'm taking a loan today, I'm not taking a DSCR loan with a 5-year prepayment penalty. I am either negotiating with the seller on seller credits and using, that money to pay for my closing costs, and the remaining balance to buy out my prepayment penalty or take it down to a 2-year, right? Something that's going to give me a little bit of flexibility to refinance out of that, interest rate when that next refinance event happens.
Right.
So, it's those type of things. Again, working with people that are experienced in multiple layers of not just investment financing, but putting a right deal together. That's something that you and I both learned by working with home builders.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you're speaking to goes back to experience. Every deal, every situation is its own, and requires your loan officer, the people you're working with, your real estate agent, to know everything that they need to know to help you, including buying out prepayment penalties, getting seller credits to help with costs. Where you're buying out the prepayment penalty, maybe I'm, trying to use that money to come in with zero cost because I want to have the most cash on hand that I need in order to get my rental property ready to rent.
Yeah.